And then maybe you should add the fact that people know that APC is a real failure as well. And they will vote anyone that is available who is ready to pay them. And PDP is offering
exactly.
Go on, sir.
Exactly. But yeah, you know one thing, Maegun, we were somewhere sometimes last week, and we were discussing about Nigeria, Yoruba nation, things like that.
Yes, sir.
And some people, you know what they were telling me? Egbon, and I told them, with this Fulani agenda and things going on, killing, kidnapping every day, my ego is not that we are not being patriotic or something like that. I told them frankly, I said, the worst that could happen in that country, Nigeria, is for Fulani to take over everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If by tomorrow Fulani take over everywhere, which we pray not to happen, but if it happens, we will all be a living witness to it. The worst that could happen is for them to take over that country. And once that happens, Maegun, myself, and few of us that are abroad, it's just by His grace. It's just by grace. That is me though. That is my own opinion. I'm not having anything to do in that country.
Oh, you are even talking about when they take it over. We are doing our best to make sure that never happens, right? And if that should happen,
we are trying.
By any means,
we are trying.
We're going to stay away. We have to stay away. Many of us will have to stay away. Many of us, in fact, it's actually like by staying away that you can even be able to even fight the fight better. Because as everybody gets in, it gets worse. We've seen it, sir.
It gets worse. Because we keep telling them, we keep making the narratives, we keep showing them a lot of stuff. And yet, some people believe that, it's one Nigeria. If Bola Tinubu comes there, things will change. What is going to change? With Boko Haram leader as the deputy, what is going to change?
And all the leaders that we don't even know their numbers who have been released from Kuje prison, they are free right now. We don't even know the reasons why they got released. An election is coming. Man, me, I'm not going to be part of that.
And
forget to.
Sometimes last week, I think one of them, there was a news that one was caught somewhere. Is it in Ogun State? Yeah, I think somewhere in Ogun State. That is one of the inmates that was released from Kuje. You see, we don't know where they are.
They said it's one of the. In fact, sir, I have a picture. I don't know if I still have it. Let me check if I still do. Right. So there is one of them that they said they got arrested somewhere in Yobe, and they said it's one of the Boko Haram leaders. I don't have the image anymore, right? And they said that one of the Boko Haram leaders that escaped from Kuje is a lie. Do you know that after they released 7 hostages, or let me say the 7 victims that they kidnapped from Kaduna Abuja train, 2 days after the Kuje jailbreak, sir, the people said, the victims, when they got out, they said, all the leaders of Boko Haram that escaped from Kuje, they brought them to their camp. They celebrated overnight. They danced, they shot guns, they did all of that. They didn't go to Yobe, go anywhere. They went into the camp where they were keeping the Kaduna Railway victims. Then they collected 800 million naira from the 7 of them, right? 100 million naira from each of the 6 Nigerians, and 200 million from the other one, yeah? So now Nigeria is saying that they arrested Boko Haram leader in Yobe. Media lies.
And the only thing Buhari will come out. No, not even Buhari. Garba Wiri coming out because Buhari is not the one talking. Gabe Chewu. It's not Buhari that is talking. It's Gabe Chewu and that. I mean, for a couple of times now, we have never heard from this Oloriburuku one. What is his name?
You have not been reading this, He's always been around there saying all manner of things. Sometimes you just have to ignore him if you want to if you really care about your mental health. So I do ignore him, sir. But he's been talking too. Trash, as usual.
We are here. We are here and we will see the end of it. We will try our best. We will continue to try our best. We will continue to, push for Yoruba Nation. And we believe with God on our side, we will see. Thank you, Maegun. Nice.
I'm glad you mentioned that as well tonight, sir. Yeah. We have a bit of clarity we should make, because sometimes people feel like, okay, Maegun, I don't understand. I don't know if I should ask you. I don't know if you want to talk about it and all of that. It's like you are trying to kind of move away from this Yoruba. No. It's not so. We have all agreed on my very political that we are going to do it differently. And we're just going to stop talking about what we are going to do. We're going to start doing it when we are ready. And then we can show people what we are doing. So the reason why I haven't come out to launch our rescue fund is because of
our rescue,
you get us, sir. The primary thing is that if we wake up tomorrow, sir, and decide I want to register all of the Yorubas who are interested in this whole idea of taking this campaign down the grass as we discussed, sir, we will start registering people.
Okay.
But one thing is that we can't take a donation from people now. If I open up today, people can start registering. I mean, you can start seeing the numbers growing up of what we're about to do, right? But we can't take a penny from it. Not that we can't per se, but I can't under the law for now, based on what we intend to do. So what's the point in trying to start something that is pretty much like in the midway? So our people should cool our mind. All that we need is resources. We know how to get the resources. Exactly. We know how to direct the resources. All we have right now is that just finalizing, fine-tuning how we are going to get it all off ground. Nothing is keeping us short about the Yoruba nation, but we choose not to say everything anymore. I choose not to say everything anymore, sir. Okay?
Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We'll wait. We can wait.
Yes.
We can wait.
We will wait.
When we come out, when we come out, it's going to be something
it's going to
different.
Be us. Yeah, it's going to be us talking about what we are doing, no longer about what they are doing to hurt us.
They are doing
now be what are we doing to fight back?
Exactly.
Or instead of us having to say, oh, we should all do something now, we should come together. No. It won't be about that anymore, sir. It will be about what are we doing now. Sir, stay with me. Thank you so much.
Fine.
You have a good one, sir, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir. And you.
So that's another elder from from the US. I'll tell you more about what I'm doing. You see, give me a second, my caller. Just a moment, please. See, another thing I need to add is this, right? We have on Mayegun's Diary Political, right? We have different things that we get ourselves involved in, assist, support that we give, including fundraisers that we put towards helping people in different category, on different capacity as well, okay? And today, we are glad that our support, our reach has gone far beyond what many people can even imagine, which means we have the capacity to even do more. Today we have a savings of about 5 million naira on this platform that can be tapped into anytime. Now I have a team of experts put together, consultants, to make this project of bringing the advocacy of the Yoruba nation straight to the people, not just them, getting them involved, all over the world in the project Yoruba Nation. So they are putting all of the legal framework together, and indeed, it is going to cost us money. Yes, we're going to pay a consultant to get that done, and when it is done, one day you're going to come and join us here and possibly visit a place called the Yoruba House for the sake of the Yoruba Nation. But again, I won't say much until when I have something, right, solid to give to you when it's done. Until then, hello there.
Yeah, one name.
One name. How are you?
One name the number.
Kedu.
Yeah. Kedu.
Odema.
You still very good,
Thank
my brother.
Sita. So, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good to hear your voice. I've been away for like 3 days, and I watch late telecast at night.
So what happened? Is that job related or just a family breakaway or something?
No, it's job related.
It's job related. Okay. I hope you're good, by the way. You are?
I'm good, and I hope your family is good as well.
Thank God, sir. Thank you for asking. So everyone can hear you, by the way. Again.
I want to take you like 3 days back. I think so, when you made the telecast on the things that were written about Tinubu and the rest of others.
Oh, the expose on Tinubu being former drug lord, money launderer for drug barons, and then clean his money through politics over time.
Exactly. You know, you remember I told you at a certain time that what transpired between, for Hope 93, what transpired between IBB and Abiola, that no one knows.
You did say that, I remember.
Yeah. And we have found part of the reason no one knows. You know? And going back to Tinubu, you know, I also remembered when the greatest Nigeria, one of the greatest Nigerian ever created, Chief Gani Fawemi, he was the one that first of all made mention of all these allegations at the beginning concerning Tinubu.
Yes.
When they asked at a particular time, I can't remember the year, but he said, where was he? That he needs to tell Nigerians where he was. That was when he was having all this trouble.
I just remember Chief Gani Fawemi in one of those arguments. I'm talking about one interview then. I wasn't too young. It was talking about Tinubu being a crook, being a liar, being this or that. And he was so passionate about it. Honestly, I remember. Osita, go on.
So I remember all those things. So it is not new that we don't even know if it's a dead man that came back to life that people are talking about. I ask people that, are you sure that this man is a living soul? Because for a living soul, at least you must have somebody who is a peer group.
Yes.
The only person that is said is the peer group that they grew up together is Sadhguru Maharaji. That's the only person. And he didn't go much into detail. He didn't go much into details. So I used to tell anybody that cares to listen that if you want to know who Tinubu is, you have to go to Sadhguru Maharaji. If you can penetrate him, they come from the same place. You will be able to spot who is
from the same Iraqi.
Yeah, who is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, so to say. You know,
Baba, they said the first 20 years of his life, nobody knows it.
Nobody knows. That was the reason.
The story not clear at all.
That was the reason I was telling somebody. I used to tell my friends, if that man, Guru Maharaji, claims that Tinubu is his peer group, whatever age that Guru Maharaji is right now, that is what Tinubu is, in the same age bracket.
The same age group.
Yeah. So, when we come on the issue, another thing I want to really point on right now is when we keep thinking about that the problem of Nigeria or the problem of Africa in general is religion, sometimes I want to argue it out that it is not.
I remember you always said that it is not religion.
But
when you look at what is playing out today, Osita, I mean, generally it's not just religion, okay? But are these people not milking from the part problem, which is the religion part? Are they not milking it to widen it more now? Tell us.
I want to come to it.
Please.
Because I read a military book on how to overthrow a government, to convince the people to accept overthrowing a government. The place religion creates problem for us is in our decision making.
Right.
But the biggest problem that Africa, Nigeria is experiencing right now, it was bad before 1960, before the war started. But it wasn't as bad as this, because by then we were supposed to have a process of becoming better. But instead of we had a process of becoming better, we had a process of retrogression, getting worse.
It got truncated.
So what happened is that in that book, they will tell you the first thing you have to cure is education. Let's go into the Bible fact or the Bible truth, because there's no fact, it's truth. The Bible says carefully that my people perish for lack of what?
Education.
It didn't say because of lack of religion, but it said because of lack of knowledge. So, what do? Is to take that knowledge away from you and replace it with something catastrophic.
Adulterated.
Adulterated. And when you do that, the first thing that comes to you as a human being is you forget about your identity. You don't know your identity anymore. You don't know who you are. You don't know the power.
You begin to pick on sundry things, irrelevant things, and you begin to make them relevant.
Yes, you don't know the power that you can build individually. Let me make it clear.
Right.
A lot of people used to tell you that the biggest force in the world is fire. Some would say it's the air. Some would say it's water. But let me tell you, the biggest force that God created was the human force. But for the fact that they've taken the human force, but for the fact that they've taken that knowledge, that simple knowledge away from you, then you don't know your identity. You don't know you have power. At least it's tested of recent. We saw all what happened in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Even in Nigeria, in Lagos, we saw what happened in the palace of the Oba of Lagos. Something that is unthinkable. People went into that palace for the very first time. The Oba himself ran away. That was the people's fault. That is the human fault. So when people keep thinking that if we keep talking about religion, even before the white people came, don't you think that we had our own different religion? We do. We do have it. But the most gruesome thing that they ever did in Nigeria was to take away that education system from us. Because when you take it away from people, people will not know their identity. Take for instance,
you've lost it all.
Yes, take for instance, somebody like you, somebody like me, somebody like their children, their own children. Are you going to tell me that why is it that none of their children came out like Portable did to support them? None of their own children did. It was because they have
not a day like this,
yeah,
not a day like yesterday or a day before it. But you will see their children when they are celebrating their inauguration, or when they are celebrating their birthdays or weddings and all stuff like that.
Exactly.
You will never see them around time like this. Never.
You will never see them.
No.
They won't carry guns. They won't carry the ballot box. This is because they had a kind of education in them. So let's not keep thinking about this religion. We've had our own religion before every other thing. We've had our own religion before any other thing.
But these two major ones have done more, or should I say the politicians have used these two main religion, right, to further, entrench their interest, which most of the time is against the majority anyway.
You're right. No, you're right. The primary one is education they took. And now they are using religion to cap it off.
Because
that is what they are doing.
That comes with lack of education. Then they can use religion to manipulate. Okay, makes sense to me now. Sita, that makes a lot of sense now. That education, if you are educated, you cannot be religiously manipulated. You cannot be tribally manipulated. You cannot be in any way manipulated.
I for one, I use myself as a case study.
Yeah.
If I were to be the ordinary person that wants to become a pastor tomorrow, I should have been a pastor. But I know that is not my calling.
No.
It is not. And at the same time, you being my general overseer doesn't mean you are the general overseer of my life.
No.
You cannot control the circumstance of my own existence. The circumstance of my existence is controlled by me. And my faith
to
in
your
God.
level of education. But guess what, Osita? This kind of education, knowledge we are talking about, they are never, they are never taught in the classroom, are they? There seems to be the life experiences that should teach you.
Yeah, they are never taught in the classroom.
No.
But what the classroom does for you is a preparatory ground for you to get to where you are supposed to get to. If you don't have that preparatory ground, there is no way you can do all these things. I was looking at that woman that you are talking, that old woman that came up on TV. Yeah, I don't know the party that.
You mean the old woman that was saying about she's been voting.
God bless her. Yeah, God bless her. But I do not know the party that she's been voting for. But because of ignorance, she can be voting for even the wrong people. But all she knows that she's
doing the right thing by participating.
And she will think she's doing the right thing. So this is where we are. I try to tell people, we in diaspora, we need to, I blame people when you live abroad and you see the way things work. You cannot, in your own little circle, like your family, you cannot still imbibe those knowledge that you receive. You have to educate people. My immediate elder brother, he is a PhD holder.
Right.
While me, I just went to the Polytechnic, HND. But believe me, because I am widely traveled than him, if I am talking about politics, he listens to me.
Because he can tell. I will listen to you all day, Osita. Trust me. I mean,
yes.
Go on.
He listens to me because I am widely traveled and I've seen a lot farther than he has done. So what I am trying to say is that let us not keep talking about this religion and leave education behind, because education is the primary thing here. That is what it is.
God bless
you.
And
that is the reason. It brings me down again to the sharing formula of Nigeria, the mineral resources. If it is a country where there's education, all these our so-called crazy leaders, that call themselves leaders, because I don't consider them leaders.
I know you don't.
Because they made themselves what they are. These leaders, have they asked themselves one question? Why Nigeria cannot be together? This thing, contraction called Nigeria, why it cannot exist?
As intelligent as they claim to be. Couldn't they have seen it?
Yes, we have 1,000,001 reasons. For example, come to the mineral resources of Nigeria.
Right.
They share the oil that comes from the south, right?
The proceed.
They share the taxes that come from the south, right?
They do.
But have you asked yourself, they don't call it Nigerian gold, they call it Zamfara gold.
Well, that's the recent one, which is the shocker, that
Zamfara
gold belonged to Zamfara. But Zamfara people crude belong to Nigeria or Jigawa.
And these idiots that call themselves elite or leaders in South, none of them have the balls.
Because they don't have the right
to come out and
is it? Or because they are selfish, which is one of the primary reasons that we found ourselves here, Osita. Is it because they don't have the right education to understand the disadvantage?
It's because,
right? The disadvantage of them taking peanuts, right? Rather than them being in charge of the massive resources to the benefit of them.
I'll give you the answer.
Give me.
The answer is simply because they do not have an identity. Right. If they have the identity, because their education, that identity has been stolen from them or they sold it, they will ask those questions. So this is where we are. Even the mainstream media, that was the last hope of the ordinary man. In any society, the press is supposed to be your last hope. The press, with the whole school that they said they went to, none of them can stand before any of this Fulanization apparatus. That's what I call them.
Osita, let me let me ask you to yield now because of our time. Okay, we are coming close to the end.
All right, thank you very much.
I enjoyed this tonight, just like always. Okay, you have been so kind of very, very critical when you pick on your points, and I love this. I wish I could talk to you all night, but this is one of the best nights I've shared with you. Thank you for sharing it with us tonight, Osita. Have a good one. Okay, so I'm gonna take one single call more. Or should I say one more call? And then we can call it a night. If you are just joining us, it's been so brilliant tonight that we've managed to touch several things that are really, really important. But again, you can watch this from the start if you are just joining us. Okay, just move it back and start watching from the start. Then I'll take my last call from my last caller, and we can call it a night tonight. Here we go. Hello there.
Hey, my brother. How are you, sir?
I am very well, sir. How are you?
Very well. It's nice talking to you. Everything okay?
Thanks for joining us as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for doing a very great work over there.
Thank you,
really appreciate you so much. Yeah. Well, I would like just to put one or two input into this, what we are talking about.
That would be amazing. Please add to it. You're my last caller, so let's make it count. You and I, please. Go on, sir.
Good. You see, our Yoruba man song kọ̀ọ̀kan.
Yes, sir.
Wọ́n ní amúkun ẹrù ẹ̀wọ̀. Ó ní òkè ló ń wò. Òwòlẹ̀. You get what I mean?
I do.
No. A lot of things has gone wrong in a long time.
So.
Which is like, it's quite difficult for our so-called forefathers to rectify a lot of problems that we are facing right now. So, and the West, so to call, they have tampered with our minds, our brain, that is kind of hard somehow to some people to really think right. You know, in a region or in a society, you know, let me say people of the late 60s to probably early 80s. Hardly, a lot of us that we call ourselves Yorubas, that we can even speak that Yoruba fluently anymore.
And it keeps getting worse.
In each and every one of us household, I'm being saying gone. We input in them. Speak English, talk English.
Just because we want them to meet up with the outside expectation, like a level of social conditioning. We are helping to extend our own identity. That won't touch me, sir.
Exactly.
Personally, what you just said.
So they have actually stolen our identity, including our language.
They call our language vernacular, sir. I am still trying to see what is the Yoruba meaning.
Even when I could remember then when I was in the primary school, secondary school then.
Including you.
We pay, including myself.
They did that to you too.
We have to pay.
I thought it was probably my set and some others afterwards. So, right?
You see, you pay that you are speaking your language, your mother's tongue, that you are speaking Yoruba, you pay.
So
you see, all this. So it has been, things have gone wrong in a very long time. So then bringing in religion. They have their own religion. And it's not that they call all this religion or whatever they serve then, they call them God. They didn't call them God. And Orisha, if we have to have like literally meaning, Orisha, tó máa ń pè máa wọn sọ pé Ọlọ́run ni wọ́n. Àwọn ẹni tí Orisha dá, they are exceptional beings, exceptional people. You see, but ìgbà tí wọ́n mú religion wá, wọ́n change mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ wípé we are calling those people God. Let's take for instance, we are worshiping them. We don't worship them. and we agree with them. Shango is not God, for example. For instance, Shango is not God.
None of our Orisha is called
God. None of our Orisha. No.
Olodumare, which is the most powerful of everybody.
Is the most supreme God.
They are just the intermediary between the humans and the spirit world. And
exactly.
But they messed it up, sir.
Exactly.
Right? They messed it up and made evil of them.
So they really messed up. They work on our brain, our minds. That even so-called pastors, imam, this, that, they count on it, preaching on it that, okay, those people, they are God, we are calling them God.
We never call them God.
Even in the Bible, they do sacrifice. In the Bible, they do a lot of things that they won't call that,
there is sacrifice in the Quran as well. Ritual, they call it. And then usually it is for, they call, we all know all these things, but here we are. Look at us. Yorubas.
Look at us now, So it's very quite unfortunate, linking it to, the politics of nowadays and stuff like that. Only by when until Western beliefs, Western, way of life. So to come into our region, a lot of things started going wrong. Whites actually abandon so many things. We don't have to abandon our good things, but we can inculcate into their own good stuff they have, they brought to us. See, but the level they invent on the technology that they are using now.
The Chinese,
and who said that?
The Japanese, they
who
kept them going is that language. That language, that's it.
Yes.
If they take it away
who
from
even
them,
said that?
Are struggling to speak English today, as big as China is, they will be fighting civil war. Like say the world went from China. No joke.
Yes.
They stole our own
we even said that we wouldn't have even better than them in the 90s, in the early 90s or in the late 18 something.
Yes.
If we are like been doing what we know how to do best
on our own,
maybe we might have developed into our own local team to meet up to the level of what they are doing nowadays.
We were trading with these people in what is now called Lagos. But the day they came to come and steal and then colonize us and then take over everywhere, and including killing some of the chiefs in Lagos, the day they came, they thought they were coming to do a business like they have been doing for hundreds of years before decolonization. The rest they say is history. We were on our own, sir. We were doing fine. We were trading internationally. Our people were traveling abroad before slave trade became a thing that finally crippled the black race at the time, sir. But today, somebody believes that we can't do it on our own. No, you can't do that again. This is come on, man. Our forefathers did it. And if somebody says we can't do it, well,
we hope a lot of things that we have been doing in the past can even come back to life now. See, I don't know the reason why they have to remove history from educational curriculum nowadays. So, but they can tell us that, hey, you guys have to know what is going on in the US, you have to know what is going on in the Britain, you have to know this, you have to know that. And they want us to forget about all our forefathers. No, they don't want to know who is this thing. They don't want us to know this. About, even people
like we want to turn to gods. They criminalize them. They turn them in. They demonize them, so to say. And today people are just going to be like, they can't publicly identify with them. Imagine, sir, that Yorubas can't publicly say, I prefer Yoruba nation than Nigeria, simply because it will tell you, I'm a Nigerian. I may be a Yoruba. That's how bad it has been. Honestly speaking, I don't know how it's going to be when you and I grow old and we look back and our children are currently saying Yoruba doesn't matter. They are Nigerian. Come on, man. How will you go? How would you go, Baba? So some people don't know, but I think we should continue doing this. People said,
Yes, we really have to. We should. I mean, a lot of things that is very bad in the Western world. Sometimes when I hear happening back home, I'm like, are you kidding me? Appreciate it. They want to live. They don't want to go. They don't want to go out of it. They don't want to do in it. But that is what we will hear back home, and we will be like, will embrace it that, okay, this is, no, it's good. You know, they may not probably bold enough to be doing it in the public, but in their inner house, you know, they will be doing it. I mean, a lot of things are, it's quite unfortunate, brother.
It is where we found ourselves, sir. But you know, one thing that I am so happy about is this. Even if it is a thankless sort of things that we are doing, there are people that have been, hoping that things like this would exist, so that that same way they are trying to deviate the minds of the people from in the pursuance of truth that will likely liberate them in the long run. Yeah, some people dedicate their time to ensure that many of us never sleep on it. We continue to dig, we continue to ask questions, we continue to be unsatisfied with what Nigeria is offering us. Now, if that number grows so well, sir, with time, proper education, enlightenment, as it is today, sustained it, the consistency that will surround it, yeah, more people will begin to ask more questions too. And from asking questions, sir, that's where this satisfaction comes in. When you ask questions and you realize that you have been dealt the bad card, the bad deal all your life, your parents, your forebearers, sometimes you might say, no, enough. And guess what? We might find a generation that will say that's enough by us not stopping. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah. All right. I mean, thank you so much for doing a good job. Thank you. Really appreciate you, brother. Being part of it. This is my first time of calling into this program.
I mean, you picked a very, very good point to discuss. And personally, just like everyone else who was called tonight, yeah, they have sort of picked up a conversation that actually hit the core. When we talk about things that really matters, right? Identity is one of them. Someone said education. Others said that, self-determination, and so many other things that people have suggested. But majority of them have been like core topic, core conversation that touches the base, like yours. So I strongly believe too, sir, that if we don't stop, we'll discover ourselves. Not just that.
Because ordinarily, the reason why me and you can be communicating right now is because we can speak English. Let's remove that English out of our conversation. Let's see if we can converse frankly the way we're supposed to be relating. We have one problem or the other, like, what you mean? We remove English out of our conversation. Let's speak our typical language. Let's see.
And we are going to have to do that at some point, sir, to be honest.
We really have to. No, that is our identity. That's our core identity. Yes. Our language goes a long way.
Content. We must promote programs. We must promote, businesses that encourages promotion of the Yoruba culture, language, things that get you more like, I feel comfortable talking Yoruba now. In fact, I feel comfortable organizing my space in Yoruba, all that stuff. But it's going to be gradual. First, you get people interested in why Yoruba is so important now. Why are we so important? And why is that future, our future, that we always want to talk about, is so important that we should always be ready
very, very
to be part of.
And our own will not be exceptional because they are doing that in Japan, they are doing that in China. A lot of countries, they are speaking their language. Germany is there,
No matter what accent we want to choose at the time, trust me, we would have to. That is why I said that if we manage to put together a sort of a platform where we all come together and build a community, something I'm working on personally now, right? Build a community where we can say, 99% of everyone on that community, they are Yorubas, and every issue they discuss is 100%, Yoruba issue and all that. So communicating in Yoruba in such community would not be a taboo, and we can build it from there. I agree with you 100%.
Oh, yes.
I do.
Yeah. Thank you so much, brother.
You are so welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay? It's been a pleasure. You have a good one, okay? And all right. Good night, sir. So this way I'm going to draw the curtains and I'm going to call it a night. I know so many other people wants to be part of this set tonight still. Seriously, the time is not on our side. And in fact, we have come to the closure of it. So I wish I could say more or even spend more time. But I have to say thank you to every one of you who spent your time with me tonight. It's been so great. Unscripted it is, just for me presenting and my callers calling in. Unscripted and mostly from the heart, so to say. We have done our part today. And the truth is that we know how divided Nigeria is. We all do. And we also know that many people are pretending that, yes, we are divided. No country is every country has their own problems. So we should all come together. There's no point in, so there's nothing wrong in coming together to say we want to build ourselves and all that, but not with Nigeria, because whatever is wrong with Nigeria you are witnessing today, trust me, it is deliberate. It is institutional, it is a sort of an institutional gang up or sort of setup for Nigeria never to work. And when those who are supposed to bring us together continue to trade on the xenophobic utterances that shows where you come from, something that always reminds you that where are you from? Oh, you are a Nigerian. Nah, your accent says you are a Yoruba man. Oh, where are you from? I'm a Nigerian. Oh, really? Nah, your accent shows that you are a Kanuri man, an Hausa man, or a Fulani man. Come on, no, you are a Negbo man. Something that many of you prefer never to be said. That, oh, no, listen, we are one Nigeria, we are one. Don't lie to yourselves, okay? Something needs to bring you together to make you one. But in Nigeria, in reality, the system doesn't make us one. Then the political players also, they thrive on the division that you have seen. Xenophobic relationship, sort of a piece of the graveyard. Something that you prefer to live with. And then put on a fake mask that says, Nigeria, great people. Yeah, you are great people. Of course, you should be. But when Nigerians are Nigerian, you get what I mean? It simply means that they are not one. Now, being honest and upright and open about it, right? It's not a crime. It's, in fact, part of a process to closure. When you have a closure, what's a closure? A closure is to let you know that, yes, there's Nigeria, but there are many Nigerias. And as it is, not by word of mouth, let us be united. Let us come together. You can't build a country. You can't unite a country. You can't deal with what Nigeria has done to you by just a mere word. Let's come together. Unity is not just a word. I've said that many times. But once we begin to say the truth to ourselves, right? Seriously, you probably will agree with me that for this contraption to continue for real, then every part of the country will need to come together and discuss it and discuss the terms and conditions if they want to be together. But anything short of that, right, is just the continuation of the mirage that they have put together even before your birth. And if you have been asking yourselves why Nigeria is not working, yeah, it's never worked even before you were born. It's not going to work even when you are dead. But there's something that can be done. It is simply because it is all misjointed, or should I say, wrongly forced together country. So if you want to stay together, seriously, you have to discuss it. Anything short of that, right, is part of the lies they've told you from your birth. And if you don't shut it, if you don't stop it, right, your children are going to be told the same lies. And guess what? They are going to experience the same thing you've experienced, that you realize that Nigeria is not actually a country, not real. Your children will have to face the same battle. It's now up to you to think. If your children will survive as you survived, especially what you have faced, the choice is yours. I know my children won't survive what I have survived in Nigeria if Nigeria continues to exist. And therefore, I pity them. I'll do my best to create a space where they won't have to do or face what I faced as a young person from Nigeria. They stole my future. I fought for it. I got it back. Not from Nigeria, from elsewhere. They are doing the same thing to those of my own lineage as well. So I'm not going to just shut up and go away. I will keep talking, and hopefully my own children, they will never have to experience the same thing. But by and large, right, just do your part. And please, you can be an alibi. You can be an accomplice. You can be an enabler without knowing. Every time you shout that you're one Nigeria, trust me, you are doing yourself more harm than good. Whatever comes after this, right? Just know that you have a chance of making your own choice, and you will live with the consequences of your choices. I'll see you some other time. And good night from here. Don't go without liking that broadcast. Don't leave without subscribing, especially if you actually enjoyed this tonight. I'll see you some other time. Good night.
Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ Súràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì o. Ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.